So people tend to believe that most of our life problems will disappear once we become rich. I personally don't come from a wealthy background, but I have been in these circles for years. Half of my life, if not more, I struggled financially. We never had money for anything. It was always constant survival mode. And then once I got to experience life on the other side, I learned quite a few things. I learned that, yeah, money does remove financial stress, but only to a point. Because what money really actually fixes is survival stress. When you are worried about how you're gonna afford groceries or pay your bills, once you fix that survival stress and you just level up your finances, you might think that life is not gonna get happily ever after. What your mind ends up doing is that it actually just starts scanning you for the next problem. And so you start noticing how deep down, you feel other kinds of problems arise within you. Maybe you feel a bit lonely. Maybe life feels meaningless. So now you're starting to feel all these pains instead. So yeah, your survival stress is going to keep some problems away because there's no time to think about them. There's no space or capacity for them. As soon as the basics are sorted, say hello to all your other problems. But I know some of you are going to be like,
Anna, if I had all the money in the world, I would just keep myself busy, have fun, and not think about my damn problems.
That's actually why a lot of rich people have drinking problems, drug problems, sex addictions, and many other dysfunctions that help them escape from life and helps them soothe their inner stress. So yeah, good luck with that strategy. So a lot of people also say that money kind of gives you freedom in life. And I would say, yeah, money definitely buys comfort. It buys convenience to a certain degree. It buys access. But true freedom, not necessarily. The irony is, however, is that a lot of rich people are less free than you think. Because guess what happens? When you reach a certain level of wealth, you actually end up getting trapped in all kinds of weird status games. And you have lifestyle expectations set for yourself, by yourself, and by others. It's so easy to get sucked into these constant comparison games of who has the bigger yacht, who wears the rarer watch, whose kid got into the fancier school. Look, I know it sounds ridiculous, but when everybody around you is playing that game and competing with each other, it is kind of hard to avoid it. And many rich people, they don't even notice that they're playing this game because of how normalized it is in their community. But I need to also just mention that it's not just among the rich that you have status games. Everyone in all levels of society play these games. But in the rich community, it's almost guaranteed that this is going to happen. Unless you're super grounded in yourself, which is ultimately the work that we're doing on this channel and inside Level Up Class. So Level Up Class is a private community where I offer more in-depth training. My vision with Level Up Class is to help as many people as possible to live their best life. And that is all sprinkled into my teachings, and inside Level Up Class, we really go deeper on these subjects. So if you want to achieve your aspirational life while staying grounded, but still get all the insider tricks and how-tos, go to levelupclass.com to find out more information of how you can join. Also, do not underestimate the true cost of being rich. Like, how much do you think their lifestyle costs? And when you become wealthy, you don't only create a bigger income for yourself, you also create bigger reoccurring expenses, which leads to bigger bills, bigger obligations, and bigger fears. Like, do you know how many wealthy people I've met who can't truly enjoy their wealth because of how terrified they are of losing it all or not having enough to sustain their expensive lifestyle? Because, once you've gotten used to a certain lavish lifestyle, it can be quite hard to scale back again. Plus, if your entire identity is tied into this lavishness, then you start cutting back and everybody's gonna see it, that's gonna feel like public shaming to you. So a lot of rich people are terrified of this. Now tell me, where is the freedom in this context? Now then there's another argument that money gives you some options in life. And you know that that is true to a certain point. But then there is another annoying thing that comes and just ruins it all. And that's called the paradox of choice. Because the more options you have in life, the more paralyzing and overwhelming it tends to feel to make a choice. You might then start feeling indecisive. You might actually also start feeling quite dissatisfied, because if you are presented endless choice, now when you look at all of it in front of you, nothing maybe stands out to you, or nothing really feels exciting anymore. Everything just kind of feels and looks the same. So here's another popular scenario. With money, you will have options to just do what you want. Like if you want to retire at the age 35 and just travel forever, then you can do that. But then what? I mean, because you can quit all the jobs you want, yeah, you can retire young, but you know what's going to happen. Big chance you're going to feel quite empty. Because yeah, money can buy you options, but it cannot buy you purpose. And it cannot give you that deep, fulfilling feeling that you're probably gonna get if you just find the right career path for you, or the right workplace, or the right colleagues. Because, you know, I remember some of the low-paid jobs that I've had in my life. When I worked in a cafe, wiping tables, cleaning dirty dishes, serving rude customers. But you know what? Honestly, that was actually one of the most fun jobs I've had, because I had great colleagues, I got to laugh every day, I got to meet people. I actually enjoyed it. And you know, sometimes purpose can actually be found in the seemingly smallest things, because purpose is really about how alive you feel, how connected you feel, how meaningful something feels to you while doing it. And trust me, sometimes that's going to make you so much more fulfilled than being rich and do nothing and just travel the world. But I'm sure you don't believe me. And I understand. I am just here to give you perspective. I'm not here to preach to you or telling you that one is better than the other. I just want to share with you what I have learned throughout these decades among rich people, having leveled up my life and my finances and my lifestyle. I want to offer you a balanced approach to leveling up. People say that with money, you can just buy so much better experiences and do cool things in life. I've done a lot of those things. And you know how many people, like wealthy people particularly, that I see in those places, I don't know, but they don't seem that they're having a lot of fun. Many of them are just sitting there silently scrolling on their phones, or they just seem bored, or they just seem completely numb towards the experience. That's the problem with life itself. The more unique experience you get to try, well, the less unique these experiences become. So yeah, true, money does buy you, cool experiences and saves you time, but don't think that you automatically will know how to properly enjoy your time. Now, I need to tell you something, and that is money is not going to buy you mental health. But you're going to need mental health if you want to have a happy life. If you cannot live peacefully in your own mind, then I personally don't think that it really matters how big your bank account is, because you're never going to feel free. Real freedom isn't out there somewhere. It all lives in your mind, actually. Money can be really an incredible tool. It is a blessing to remove survival stress. It can definitely open up doors and buy us some solutions, but it's never the root source of happiness. Yeah, money will fix some problems, but it's not gonna fix you. You yourself need to do the work, the inner work. You also need purpose, you need love, you need community, you need things that truly feeds your soul. And ironically, those tend to be the things that money really can't buy. Freedom is available to you, regardless if you are rich or poor, because ultimately it all happens in your mind. and in your emotions. So if you are chasing something right now, maybe pause and ask yourself, what am I really thinking that money is gonna solve for me, that I truly need? So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that, because trust me when I say more is coming. Thank you for watching, and make sure you leave a comment down below. I will see you in the next video. But now, why don't you watch this one? This one is really, really good.